But as she did stated, I am I'm originally from Houston, Texas. I am now residing in Lake Charles, Louisiana. I moved from Lafayette about a couple of years ago. Got into Lake Charles and recently got married. So now I have been a cosmetology. I've been in, oh Lord, I graduated in 90 something. And I inherit, just to tell you a little bit about me, I, within the marriage, just inherited two kids. And so, an 18-year-old and a 12-year-old. So, of course, that dynamic is very interesting at this time. Just saying. So, I make it work. But what got me into this point that I'm in right now and doing what I do and with so much passion, I had to go through a little something. At a very, very young age, I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer that at 14 years old, having a complete hysterectomy. So, and the doctor's giving you 2 weeks to live, and here I am now, 54 years old later. So tell me God ain't good. Amen. All the time. Yes. And so what inspired me is because of the transition, being so young, not educated, not understanding what was going on with my body, what was going on with just everything totally, and being from the background I was from. But it caused me to do a lot of research into what I'm doing right now. And that was going into product knowledge because I needed to find out what was going to grow my hair back. I went almost about 10 and a half years without any hair. And it was just really rough with trying to figure out, okay, this product wasn't working because, as you know, I don't know who is going through that transition of chemo. That chemo back then wasn't as advanced as it is now. Now you take it in dosage. Now you can take it, in different series. You can do it in your arm or whatever. Back then, they only had two ways you can take it. It was in liquid form, but the shunt had to be put in two places. So it started out in my head. They had to put a shunt to bring the chemo there. Then they put it in my neck. And in those places, those are damaging to your system tremendously. And so it took my body from going in the hospital weighing 115, coming out 96 pounds. And that's why I don't care what they say about all of this. It is what it is. God did. So, and going through that transition caused me to go into a really dramatic episode in my life to where, okay, I'm seeing, of course, I don't know if y'all familiar with Lots of Love, where they donate their hair. Unfortunately, none of that hair I could take because of the chemicals that they had to use to process it would break my skin out. So anything that I was using would break my skin out. It didn't matter what it was. So I said, okay, God, I got on my knees, and I had bendinitis for a long time. And so I started going into different products, using them. That would break me out and going into other things. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna go with the natural things that that's on the earth. So of course I got myself introduced to aloe vera, which is of course y'all familiar with the aloe vera plant. For anybody that has cancer, any kind of chemicals, you would want to keep an aloe vera plant in your salon at all times. All times. Also, what helped me was witch hazel, which is an astringent. And so those two elements helped me a lot. And when you do have cancer, of course, your skin dries out. Like right now, I don't have any fatty. My skin doesn't produce oil at all. It dries out really, really fast. So I have to take a lot of oatmeal baths. And even though it's been years since I've had the chemo, but I still have the side effects. But that's okay. Thank God for for knowledge in me and his creation. So I take a lot of oatmeal baths and milk baths. I found some different types of herbs that I use, and I mix together, and I made me a little concoction, so it helps me out really, really, really well. And I use aloe vera, which helps as well. I'm gonna pass out you today a little packet. I may not have enough for everybody, but if you guys don't mind sharing, this is just a brief, it's not all what I do. I have a lot bigger packet. You wanna pass those out for me? You can share, because it might not be enough for everybody, but I appreciate if you guys would share. My information is on the cover. If you guys would like me to come to your school, to talk to your students, or, you know, if there's any instructors in here, I don't mind doing it. But basically, it's telling you about braiding. And even in the midst of me, some of you guys might have to share if y'all don't mind, or else I'll try later on to get you guys a copy. This journey that I'm on right now is the most magnificent journey anybody that's in the cosmetology industry would love to take. And I have so much pride, I take so much pride in it because I deal with a lot of cancer patients. I deal with a lot of patients that has thyroid problems and stuff like that. So because of that, believe it or not, I don't know how many of you in your salons have dealt with that. I also teach them about how to take care of themselves. Because I am the hairstylist and I have the profession and I went to school for this, I want to make sure that my clients are well taken care of. A lot of times we don't appreciate the clients that we have. Now, okay, all right. Everybody, okay. We don't too much appreciate, I'm gonna be walking and doing something all at the same time, I'm sorry, y'all. A lot of times don't appreciate the clients that we do have in our salon. We take advantage of that. And with me being the way I am, I have to make sure that my clients are well taken care of, just like I'm taken care of. Mm-hmm. And because I want to make sure I look good when I wake up in the morning, my hair is combed, my teeth is I'm not breathing, I got to get over the client. I don't want to have bad breath. I want to make sure I'm looking professional at all times. I want to make sure that I'm representing who I say I am. And if I say I'm a professional hairstylist, now I have a doctor's degree in front of my name. You don't want to go to the doctor and the doctor has a bunch of animals in his shop and you come in there to get something done, on your heart, but he has a bunch of animals in there. What's wrong with that picture? So you either done came to the wrong place or the doctor's in the wrong place, one of the two. So now you want to make sure that you're representing well. So I'm saying all that to say this. Sometimes when we're doing, I'm going to ask a question though. How many of you have natural hair? Everybody hands should go up. Why?
Yes, I'm so sorry. I just want to let everybody know that I asked the management, could you check out at 12 o'clock? And she said yes, because that you'll be on your break. So if you need to check out, you do have until 12, but you got to get out at 12, okay? So you want to get up out of class and leave and go and check out. All right?
Okay.
Thank you.
So all of y'all hands should have raised up because you started off with natural hair. We all are natural. It don't matter. Only thing different is your texture. Hair is hair. We can't just discriminatory against what hair is. Hair is hair. Only thing different, like I said, is the texture. Some is curly, medium, over curly, but hair is hair. Or you have your straight hair. So there's a process. Now, what takes your hair out of that element of the natural state is when you have went in and you have placed a chemical on it. So now, from the time you put that chemical on it until the new growth comes out, it's chemically treated. Am I right? So far? Okay, so now, after maybe a couple of months, then the hair goes back to its natural state, of course, because you have new growth coming out. But at the end of the day, it's, that's what it is. Okay, so now, what I teach mainly is about tension on the scalp. How many braiders do I have in here? Okay, so now, we know in our industry, everybody says they can braid, or they can plan. We hear that a lot. Oh, I can do this, you might can. Trust me, I'm not the one gonna argue with you. But, I have an issue with that though. I went into salons over and over and taught classes, but I allowed them to teach me first so I won't be accusing. So when I went into some of the salons, including our motherland salons, just saying, and saw them braiding, you got people sitting in the chairs doing this. About to literally crawl out the chair. You got people that, especially little kids, which I am so against, because those little small kids' scalps have not yet finished developing. And when you're putting that amount of pressure and tension on those little kids' hair, you're telling them, sit down in that chair, don't you move, hold still. Come on now. We went to people and we can barely sit in the chair. So how you gonna tell a little child to sit in the chair and sit still? That's just like spanking the child and telling them to shut up.
Exactly.
It hurt. The pain hurt. So you administer pain on these children. So be careful of that. So what I've done, and through the process of my research, I've invented a way of braiding, which is called pop and lock. Pop and lock, and that's with adding extensions. And that's also with just braiding the hair from the scalp. And pop and lock, what it does is I use my two pinkies to keep from putting the pressure around the perimeter. Because as you know, around your perimeter, they look like, and I'm not trying to be discriminatory or anybody with racial, I'm just saying they look like this. Black Nipponese, walking around, literally, just saying. And that is just ridiculous. Next thing you know, a couple of days, probably not even a couple of days, probably after they even got it, they got these bumps all around the perimeter. Or they can't sleep. They got a migraine, headache. No one should leave out of your shop with a migraine. That's ridiculous. So my method has been where through the years of me trial and error, been there, done that, I've learned how, because I am the first partaker in that. And so I braid people hair constantly, and I recommend them the pop and lock method. And that will take the pressure off the perimeter, but still give them the same effect as braiding. It won't hurt. You're gonna feel a little tension, but it's not as much pressure and tension as you would cause, because actually when you're adding that extension in that hair, you are pulling the natural hair from the scalp as well as the artificial hair, am I right? So now, if you don't know how much your strength is and pressure you're pulling on that, you can cause, and you're constantly, so a lot of times, we want what we want, so we're gonna sit there and do it at pain. But at the end of the day, you done got your duckies, but your poor client leaving out of there, Lord Jesus, with a migraine headache.
Then take it down.
So, I teaches this method of pop and lock, and it, like I said, it does take the pressure off the perimeter, but it still gives you the same effect. I also do crochet braids, but I do not use a crochet needle. I've came up with another method that is so much easier and so much quicker. Now, I don't have time to demonstrate it, and what I will do is I'm gonna do a hands-on class at the state. I know you guys are familiar with this little baby here. And what is this? You put beads on it. Bead threader. And I was just gonna say, how in the world you could do some braids with a bead threader? Believe it or not, this is the more safest way to do braids and get the same effect. But when I do my braids, I make the braids loose. Reason being, when you're doing the crochet, it's gonna tighten up again, right? So you don't need extra tension on the hair. So this prevents you from putting all that tension on that hair. And also for those of who have alopecia and those who are born with, no sides, and they're thin on the sides, you want to be careful. That helps a lot too. Especially when I get ready to do someone that does not have sides, you won't know it because the type of braid I do. Sometimes I do a crown braid. It depends. And also, if they do not have any hair in the top of their scalp, I usually take the back and use the back of their hair as my front. And I know I take the braid. If their hair is at a length, I will take their hair and braid it in 2 braids and bring it around and connect them together. That's going to give me that stable foundation to do what I need to do. Okay? Now, I have another question for you. How many of you have problems taking care of natural hair? Why is that, I wonder? Who can tell me? What are some of the problems you guys are having?
Finding the right product.
What you say?
Finding the right product.
Finding the right product. Who else? Anybody else? Okay, so she said finding the right product, which is excellent. Let me tell you what we do. When we get ready to do over curly hair, I'm not going to say natural hair because all hair is natural. Of course, you got your straight and your curly. When you're getting ready to shampoo someone's hair that is curly, first thing we want to do is turn on the hot water.
Mm-hmm.
And Lord Jesus, we get ready
Lock it
to
up.
scrub.
Ooh,
Eek. Wrong answer.
that's right.
Do not use hot water on over curly hair. You need to use tap water or cool water. The reason being, that hair is going to swivel up and tighten.
Mm-hmm. Even more.
Do it not do it on you?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and not only that, we already have natural oils that comes out of our bodies already. And so we need to preserve all the natural oils that we have much as possible. But if you're using those harsh shampoos, I use a lot of sulfur-free shampoos. Only reason why I use a lot of sulfur-free shampoos because in Louisiana, we have chemicals, plants here, and the water is hard. And so you need something to be able to contain that moisture in there. Now, so what I do is I rinse out with cold water, but I also mix my shampoo and conditioner together. Because that's going to impute the moisture that they need. And their hair is not going to come out all dry and brittle. And a lot of times, depending on the texture of the hair, especially those little kids that have the spongy hair, what we call spongy hair. And that's the most difficult hair that people don't like to deal with. But I love that type of hair. I love doing that hair. Because I love being able to show that parent how shiny that hair could come out. No, it's not heavy. No, it's not bogged down with a bunch of oil. And we famous for all these oils. But you need to find oils that's going to be able to penetrate to that cortex and soften that hair. Yeah. And so us in the salons, we have this problem with that all the time. But let me tell you another problem we have in the salons. We want to take on natural hair clients. And I think I heard someone earlier today talk about when we take on clients, we don't have that kind of time. And if you're a natural hair client, and you have a natural hair client, and you scheduling those clients an hour apart from each other, they're not gonna step. And you're doing braids? Really? You're gonna finish your braids in an hour? Really? So that means that client's gonna be sitting in that chair
That's
for
right.
about 3 or 4 hours,
Mm-hmm.
depending on if that client is gonna sit there. Normally, what I do when I get a client in and get them ready for a consultation, I'm going to show you guys a little skit right quick that I want to share with you guys. And this skit is going to kind of demonstrate, and it's going to be quick, it's not going to be too long. It's going to demonstrate 2 things: how professional you are in a salon and how not professional you are in the salon. And reason why I'm doing this is because at the time that we're sitting in the chairs, we're thinking, okay, I got time to hurry up and get her hair done. And I'm just gonna go in here and I'm just gonna braid. I think it was Miss Sharon was talking about those 2 little braids that she was doing on her client and how much you charge on those 2 little braids. And let me tell you something, guys, even when you're braiding, be careful of that perimeter. Some people perimeters are weak. For one, they do a lot of color. They've done past chemicals, and just because they say, oh, I didn't have a chemical service in about a couple of months, that's the chemical still on their hair though. And eventually that chemical is gonna break down and pop their hair. So when you are doing a braiding service on a client that has been chemically treated, you want to make sure you ask that in your consultation, because that's going to determine how much pressure. I'm so concerned about my client's perimeter to where when I do braid, I'm going to make sure I leave at least a 1/2 inch from their perimeter, not where it has to be. So what I'm going to do is, when I first start braiding, and then I'm going to do my skit right quick, just to give y'all a quick demonstration for those of you who are braiders. When I'm braiding my client's hair, at first I done already did that consultation. I done asked them, have they had a prior chemical service? And another thing I do, I take a deposit on any braid service, any chemical services, because that's time. Money is time and time is money.
Yes.
And so that's going to determine to me that you're really serious about coming in and getting those braids, because you ain't going to want to lose that $100, just saying. And so that's something you need to, incorporate if you have it. Now, if you just want to do homegirl hair and you got that time to be waiting on her, if she show up or if she don't, then that's on you. But what I usually do, this is the pop and lock method with my 2 pinky fingers. This is going to keep the pressure from off the client's perimeter. So what I do is, my fingers are actually pressing down on this end right here, my pinky finger, and I'm gonna still achieve the same procedure, but I'm gonna let you see, and it's not tight. I don't have to pull the client's skin out, and see, it's loose. Because when I get ready to actually crochet that hair, and you see how I'm right at her, I'm a little bit from her perimeter, I'm not at the edge. Because again, they've had all kind of chemical service and had all kind of things, and some of them don't be honest with you, they test the line for real. Because they want what they want when they want it. But it's up to you as a professional to ask those questions. And not only that, to be able to feel that hair and find out if they're really telling you the truth. Now, if you choose to go ahead on and give them that service and they hair fall out with that braid, guess who problem is going to be on? And they know in Louisiana they call it Sioux City, because they love to sue you. So you got to make sure you protect yourself, okay?
And this braid here, that's for the crochet?
Yes, you can use this as a crochet. Now, a lot of times when my clients, I can just crochet this whole head off of just this round perimeter. I can crochet her whole head. Because what I'm gonna do is if I don't have the time. Okay, see this finger right here? It's taking the pressure. And you see if I'm pulling under, I'm just gonna go under, pick it up, and put the finger on the face. It's not gonna put no pressure. A lot of times we're doing this. We're doing this. So when we're doing that, that's gonna put that pressure on that client. So you wanna make sure that you use your fingers as the pressure, so it won't put no kind of pressure on that client's perimeter at all. No matter what area you're braiding in, you wanna make sure you're protecting that client. You don't want the client, and you're still gonna achieve the same thing, and it's tight. And my title of my book is Tight But It's Right.
Yes.
So that's the meaning behind it. It's gonna be tight, but it's gonna be right. And it's not gonna where your client is gonna leave away from there with having to take a bottle of Tylenol because you did it so tight. And then when you get ready to use the crochet needle, we know sometimes with that crochet needle it pulls. And when you're trying to pull it out, that hook, guess what you're doing? You're pulling their hair out too. Because the crochet needle wasn't designed for hair, y'all, just saying. It was designed for yarn. Let's just say, you know. So when you're getting ready to use this, you're gonna put the hair inside of here. Let me bring the hair. Oh, sorry. I didn't bring the hair. That's it. Okay, I'm gonna use this little piece right here. And then we're gonna do my skip right quick, and then we're gonna be done. Okay, so it doesn't matter what type of hair you use. Okay, we just use this here. And what you're gonna do, you're gonna bend the hair, you're gonna put it through here, you're gonna bend it down. You're gonna take it, push it through, pull it through, pull your pin out, take it, and it's in. Done. And the client's not gonna, and then when you do it, and then the good thing about it, even if you wanna bring it close, you got enough tension around here for it to hold in there. But you ain't gotta worry about that hook coming out, and as you're pulling out, that you're pulling the client's hair. Cause you're thinking you're pulling the artificial hair, you're really not. You're actually pulling that client's hair, so that causes them, that hurts. So you just wanna, and if anybody wanna try that, they're welcome to. And so, anybody have any questions so far about it? Oh, okay. Okay, so it doesn't matter what, and then you can decide what the length of hair you want. Some of my clients that are, are bald in the top, and they want this certain look, then I'm gonna put more volume, more of the artificial hair in the top of their hair than I am in the back. Because all that hair is gonna cover, and you don't want it to be all big. You gotta make sure when you're doing hairstyles, whether it's braids, whether it's, it don't matter what it is, that you look at that client's contour. That means so much. Everybody can't wear what may look good on her may not look good on me. So don't be trying to look like Beyonce when you're far from it. Just saying. You might get that hairstyle, but you're not. It may not look, you might go, oh, it look good better on Beyonce. Or it might look better on you than Beyonce. Just saying. But just make sure when you are picking a style for your client that you be aware of their contour. That's so important. That's why it comes in the consultation. Even whether I'm doing braids, I tell my sometimes, you know what, I said, I'm achieve what you want, but you know what, can I make a suggestion? And if I make that suggestion, it's just because I'm looking at your contour. Make them feel comfortable, but yet you don't want to take away what they want. But you want to make your professional suggestion. Okay? All right, so after this, pull it through. Okay? Take it, pull it out. Well, I didn't do it right. Okay. And then it's in there. But the braid is loose enough to where it won't pull the client's hair. Because once you start tying it, and some people do a couple of knots. Once you start tying it, but this hair is not right here, but it's going to have a knot there. And so you just want to make sure that it's not, even with the knot, that it's not pulling the client's hair. Okay? Okay, so I have a skit right quick I'm going to try. Do with you guys right quick. And it's going to be on how to be professional and how not to be professional. Okay, so I need my people.
I need to get my hair done. And how many people you have? Because it looked like you have a lot of people waiting, and I got someone to be.
Okay. Hi. You doing okay? Okay, that's good, that's good. Well,
You know, she trying to do your hair, you know.
okay, I tell
She didn't
you,
answer my question.
excuse you,
Ma'am?
okay, I tell you, let's come over here and have a seat in my chair.
How long is gonna take?
Well, once you sit down, we're gonna talk about that, and see what type of service you want.
Girl, you making me shame. I'm not
You know,
coming
I
with you
know.
no more.
I got somewhere to be.
Girl.
Okay, so, I just wanna make sure that I am, knowing what you want first, so, what is it specifically? That you,
I need bleach blonde hair and I gotta do somewhere in an hour and a half.
Excuse me.
you want bleach blonde hair?
Yes.
Uh,
be-
did you,
Beyonce. Excuse me.
did you realize you're ready?
I was supposed to, be here, and I need my hair done.
At this time, excuse me, honey, I'm with the client, and there's a chair, like, oh, matter of fact, here's the floor. Yeah. If you can have a seat right here, as soon as I finish doing my consultation with her, I'll be more than happy to talk to you. But right now, let me, you can have a seat. Matter of fact, I have some cold water and, a little, you know, some cheese and crackers.
She look a
You
little
can have
thirsty.
it.
I have actually a question, but listen to me, no, for real though, I actually called earlier and I was told that I can just come in, there is a sign that says walk in. And I know that you have.
And you walked in, and now you're gonna have a seat.
Is there anyone else that could help me besides you, cause I know there's other stylists. I mean.
Not at this time. I'm sorry. Okay,
Well,
so
I
you
tell
have
you
two
what.
choices.
I tell you what, I'm gonna leave, that's why
You
I
know
don't
what?
want people that.
And next time, you know, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about that. I apologize, you know,
What you was
sometimes,
gonna do with that 28 piece she had on?
well, that's not your concern right now. Your concern is for me to try to do something with this. So now, you said you want, what now?
I need bleach blonde hair.
Okay, as I'm looking
It's
right
fall.
It's fall?
Mhm.
Okay, you know what? That could happen. But two things
Today?
will- No, let me
So
tell you.
I'm going to the concert tonight.
Right, I understand, but I tell you what I can do. Well, you gotta listen to me first. I would love to give you that service, but at this time, it cannot happen due to the fact that you already
But you the
have color.
professional.
And you need to listen to me as the client. Okay, so first of all, you already have color.
But could I watch
And-
YouTube and do this on my own?
No, you cannot. You can, but it won't
But
be
they
under
say
my
YouTube
umbrella.
show you how to do
But
everything.
it
It's
won't-
DIY.
Okay, well, you walked in here and you want to get your service. So you can't go to you to the two.
You know we're going to the concert.
We gotta go.
We got front
Okay,
row
it's okay,
seats
I'm here.
to
It's
Beyonce
okay,
and
I'm
Jay-Z.
Yes, you
Uh-oh,
know what, yeah, you know what, I tell you what, due to the fact, I know she's not quite ready for the service that I'm about to. We, you know what, you see all my clients right here? I'm so serious. Time is money and money is time, baby, and I don't have the kind of time
So
for
you
you right
even
now.
got made.
No, baby, I am not mad, honey, I love you to death, but I'ma love you clean up out my seat. I understand.
I know that's right.
That's all
You
right.
know what? I
That's
tell you
right.
what
That
I
street
can
could
do
do it
for
for
you
$50.
though. I tell you what I could do for you though. If you can call me back and we'll make a true appointment. And
How
that
do I
way
do
I
that?
can go, you're gonna, you know what? I have a cord. Hold
No,
on.
you got Instagram?
I have a cord.
She, no, you got Instagram.
That's it. You know what? And I appreciate you are a good friend. You know what? And here's a card, baby. I tell you what, you call me and you're gonna make appointments.
But y'all have
And
Instagram?
you're gonna make an appointment. And you're
How?
gonna call me back and I will be more than happy to, do the
I
service
ain't
for you.
doing this, girl. You can do it. Ask for $50. Let's go on.
I tell you what, you're welcome to come back at any time, and I would love to do your hair. Well, you have some beautiful hair, and you know what? And I love doing those little curls, and I love it. You know what? I tell you what, but that's okay. But what we're gonna do? We're gonna pray for her. Because you know what? At the end of the day, she has the problem. I would love to see you back though. You know what? Matter of fact, let me give you a card too.
Thank you, ma'am.
You know what? Thank you so much.
Oh, this is the third shot you got kicked out of.
Girl, you know what? Like I said, pray for us. Sometimes we sometimes we have issues with people. Yes. But thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry. sorry. I
No,
appreciate
I'm
it.
sorry. I ain't bringing her back.
That's okay. That's okay. Thank you. Oh, my.
Today ain't the day. It must be Monday.
Okay.
I know that you're free now, so
Yeah.
I would like to know
Yeah.
if that you will be able to, or would you be able to fit me into your schedule?
Well, I tell you what, I appreciate you coming back and being so professional. I thank you so much. But you know what? Yes, I can do your hair, but it won't be. I have a few people that, ahead of you. But I tell you, as soon as I get them out the way, I'm gonna take you and I'm gonna take my time with you and give you all the services that you well deserve.
Well,
I appreciate
Would
that.
you mind giving me a time so therefore I know what time to come?
I
back?
tell you what, it is like 12:20 right now. How about 2 o'clock? I tell you what, you can go eat lunch
Mhm.
and you can come back and I'll be done.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Would I have something like this when I leave
If
out?
whatever you want, baby.
All right.
But do you have the time? Because
I can
this
go eat.
takes a little time now, so if you gotta go and feed the dog, run the roaches down, whatever you got, but this gonna take time.
I don't know about no roaches, but I got a dog.
I tell you what, go feed the dog, the cat, whatever you gotta do, and get you something to eat. Come back, and I'ma hook you up.
Would you like
Now, it's
something
gonna
to eat
take-
too?
You know what, thank you so much, but no, I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you for your concern, but you know what, you go take care of you, and when you get back, it won't be nobody in that chair but you.
All right, well, thank you for doing this.
You're so
I'll see
welcome,
you
you're
later.
so welcome.
Y'all have a good day.
Okay, so what did y'all get out of that?
Every day.
How many of y'all deal with that?
Every day.
Everybody should be dealt with a difficult client, and some of your clients may be polite. They come to the school, some of the people off the street, because we take clients off the street at the school, beauty schools, and everybody ain't nice. But you gotta prepare your students for that. Students, y'all can't be thinking it's gonna be peaches and cream, y'all gonna get the perfect client in y'all see, because you're not. You're gonna get some ugly ones. But you know what, at all times, don't let nobody take you out of your character. Because remember, you are the professional. You are the one that's representing your title. And again, you in branding business. You're trying to brand yourself. You don't want to have somebody go out that door and go, girl, do not go sit in that girl chair. She got the worst attitude. She don't know how to, look how she got my hair. She don't even know how to color. She don't even know how to braid. And I just gave her such and such amount of money. So that's your name going out that door. So you want to make sure at all times you keep professional. And again, my name is Dr. Sandra White Christopher. And if you guys need a class or anything like that, I have more details of stuff. So at the state convention, I will be doing hands-on, allowing you to do hands-on. I will have that set up for you for the state convention. And I know a lot of you probably be graduating too. But if you have any more questions or concerns, I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. And I hope that you guys learned something and I was able to help some of you guys. And I appreciate you guys' attention. Yes, ma'am.
State convention, what will your class cost?
I'm sorry.
The cost of your class with the
You're
convention,
gonna pay for it when you pay for the convention.
so the heads and things will be.
Hands-on. You're gonna bring your mannequins. You're gonna bring your mannequins. I'll send out a little when the Miss Sharon, them get ready to call you guys or however they do it. I'll send out a little itinerary of what you would need, the supplies that you would need to bring with you to the class. But majority of the stuff I will provide the hair myself. Okay? And you just bring your mannequins and I'll provide the hair. That fair enough?
Fair.
All right. Thank you guys again for your opportunity. Also showing how you would set up. You want to always be ready when you come in the salon to do